Good evening, everybody, and welcome back. Episode 2, NYJTV, here with Fireman Ed, Rob Carpenter, and Jake Koeppel. Lots to get into since we spoke last week. Some veteran free agent signings in the last few days. The draft to recap, and Aaron Rodgers already becoming the king of New York. So, Ed, I'll just start with you, man. How does it feel to just see all these guys taking in the nightlife at MSG? What does this feel like right now?
It's showtime. Aaron Rodgers has taken over the city. He took over the city, and they love him. They love him. They want more of him. You heard him on McAfee saying that the Mets already reached out to throw the first pitch. He's waiting to hear from the Yankees. So, listen, and rightfully so. The guy is one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time, and we got him, and he still has plenty left. So very, very exciting times to be a New York football Jet fan.
He said he feels like he's dreaming. I feel like I'm dreaming. Rob, how do you feel, man?
It's a little funny, with him being all around the city just so fast. He came in at the perfect time. He got here when the playoffs were starting, Rangers games, Knicks games. He got to tap in to see how Madison Square Garden actually is and how live it is, for New York fans. So, he's just imagining right now what it's going to be like, in the fall, those first few games of the, opening up in MetLife, and 70,000 fans going crazy in the stadium for him. So, he got a quick taste of it, and he looks like he's just soaking it all in, and he's going to be a big part of what's going on in the fall.
Jay, you want to chime in?
Man, you got to pinch me. It's crazy. I'm in a group chat with all my friends that I grew up with in Teaneck, right? And I got diehard Giants fans and, general Jets haters in there. Like, there's really not too much support for the Jets in that group besides myself, and they love messing with me. And even they're giving us props. They're like, oh, Jets are going to be a fun team to watch this year. Like, their vibes around there are elite. I mean, you got Sauce sitting next to my childhood crush, Jessica Alba. Like, wait, honey, are you kidding me?
Who he didn't even know. He didn't even know who that was.
That made me feel old, Rob. I was like, you don't know who Jessica Alba is? What do you not know who Jennifer Aniston is too? Like, come on. But anyway, it was fun times. I'm everywhere I look. I mean, we got the Devils are representing. We got the Knicks.
Nobody really cares about the Devils.
I mean, we got Aaron Rodgers and the Jets. The only team that's right now it's killing me is the Mets, but it is what it is.
Can't hit 500 right now.
Yeah, brutal.
But shifting over to the draft, we don't have to break down each pick, but I guess I'll just start by asking, what were your overall thoughts on the way Joe Douglas kind of approached the draft? It seems like he sticks to, his best player available philosophy. He's not going to, reach for a certain need at a certain position. So, Ed, I'll just start with you. What were your thoughts on the way he approached this draft?
Well, I think Salah was in his ear once Belichick, Clamface, decided he was going to trade with the Steelers and screw us and fuck us, excuse my language, but that's what he was trying to do. I think Salah was right in his ear saying, take the Iowa State kid. So, that was my initial thought. I was like, because nobody was talking about that kid.
Nope.
We didn't know he was, we were thinking offensive lineman. And, listen, I think there's reasons for everything, right? I mean, I think their draft, and who knows? Nobody knows what the draft's going to be most of the time. Last year was a historic draft. They just did everything correctly. You don't know what these kids are going to do when they come in here, But I like this. I love the center. Love the center. I mean, I couldn't get enough of him. And I like that kid from Brooklyn, the running back. Oh man, I like that kid too. So I think we'll see what happens. We, for the first time, we actually were going into a draft where, we got to have everything. No, we have a lot. And now we build and get some depth. So we'll see where it goes.
Yeah, it was actually pretty cool knowing that when the Patriots actually, made the trade with the Steelers, everybody knew what was going on. And everybody knew that the old lineman was going to be going, that the Jets actually were targeting. So then it just flipped over, as you said, Joe D and Salah were like, all right, we're just gonna go in, for the rest of this draft and take the best player available. And you can see, what's going on. They're looking for size. and a little athletic ability at the O-line position. They're looking for definite, speed and athletic ability at the on the defensive side of the ball, and they're looking for big home run speed on the offensive side of the ball. And I think that's been the philosophy that he's had, for the last few years, and it seems like it's working out. And like you said, Ed, the running back kid, man, you add him to the rest of the group that's actually there. And I made that tweet, right after it happened. There's a lot of speed in that running back room right now. So there's home run hitters all over, and it's not just in between the tackles. You get these guys out on the edge, one-on-one with linebackers or safeties in the passing game, and big plays can happen because we saw it early last year with Brees. You got him outside on those swing passes and some plays down the field, and there's big plays to be had all over the field because of the speed that's there. And it's a good thing to see, man. And like you said, Ed, it's a good feeling when you're going into the draft and there's not a need all over the place. So you could just pick the best player that's there, and it's just that's what they did. And like you said, the pick that was actually really, really, really good for me was the center, because now you can move guys around. They have a lot of depth on the O-line now. Not just in the draft from with some of the free agent signings that they made the last couple of days. There's a lot of depth on the O-line because we saw what happened last year. There was guys moving all over the place because guys were going down left and right. And you're gonna need that depth as the season goes on. So it's good to see, man. When you're in a draft and you're just saying, all right, who's the best player on the board right now? Let's take him. And that's the way they do it. And it's it's just a good feeling that the team can actually do that now.
Jay, want to hop in?
Yeah, look, I mean, Rob basically took my entire speech there. It's just about, I'm just so happy that we're in a position where it's not like, oh man, we have, we need a number one. A couple of years ago, remember when we were breaking down the roster, I think, when we were doing the magazine, Kevin, we were like, we don't have a number one quarterback. We don't have a number one receiver. We don't have a number one cornerback. We don't have an edge rusher. We don't have a
tight end, pass rusher.
Yeah, it was ridiculous. Now it's almost an embarrassment of riches at certain positions. I don't even know what to do with myself in some of these spots. I'm like, we drafted another running back. Where the hell is he going to fit in? But whatever, give me the more talented players, the better, right?
What about that kid from Old Dominion, the tight end, seventh rounder? I mean, like Rob said, they are taking the best players. They are taking athletic players. They're taking guys like the kid from Patterson, the Pittsburgh kid Warren, Cedric Warren.
I know it's on. I know it's on.
Oh, you do?
Carter Warren.
Listen, how about him being a captain as a tackle, and he's the captain? That's pretty good. That's saying something about that kid, as far as I'm concerned, because you don't see a lot of offensive linemen being captains on these teams. It's usually the quarterback, the running back, the wide receiver, the middle linebacker. It's very rare is it a tackle. So I was like, whoa, I like that alone. I mean, I just do. Rex Hogan doesn't get enough credit. All right. Rex Hogan is running the show there in the scouting, and he's doing a hell of a job. I love Rex. When I see him on the sideline, and he's so incognito, when I see him every game, I just yell, I go, Rex! Rex! And he looked over. I says, Hogan, you're the man behind the scenes. That gives me a big laugh. He goes, thanks, Ed.
We're going to need to watch how many times we say that tall Old Dominion tight end's name live on the air. We'll get late with a profanity hit from YouTube.
Dude.
Well, they say it doesn't. It's not sounds like that. It does. I don't think they spell it. He doesn't. It doesn't come off.
He says a Kuntz, right? He says it's Kuntz.
Kuntz.
Hey, God bless. I love it.
I like it the other way better.
Kuntz. I did see that though. That was pretty funny.
That kid might be the sleeper though. He left to go to ODU, where he actually got to hone his skills for a few years. You know what I'm saying? And he got to play. And
Where was he, bro? Where was he before that?
He was at Penn State, I think.
Right. Okay.
And he gets to go down to a smaller school, but you get to play. You know what I'm saying? And you're the main target there. And once you start getting that, and you start getting those reps, it starts just becoming something that you're doing over and over and over again. It just becomes just that thing that you know how to do. He can get open, man. And he's a big target, and he's fast.
Big boy.
So
Big boy.
he's fast. So that's actually going to be one of the things to look forward to as camp goes on, to see how many reps he's actually getting. That's what actually I'm going to be looking for, to see how many reps he's actually getting as camp goes along, because I think that kid could be a sleeper in a tight end group.
And I like the two other picks that we haven't even touched on yet. The linebacker, Barnes, his sideline to sideline speed. I think that's something that they desperately needed. And the defensive back out of LSU, Converse, he's played all over the place, from safety to slot corner, nickelback. Like, he's kind of done it all. And I think he's played over 3,500 snaps at LSU. So he's coming in with a ton of experience. So I think both those guys, considering need as well, they haven't brought back Quan Alexander yet. The depth behind Michael Carter and the corners, both those guys might actually play a little bit.
I tell you, they have a lot of versatility.
Yep.
I think this whole group might be one of the groups that actually, a full group of draft picks that actually makes a team. And then, like you said, Kev, it's going to be a little interesting to see what goes on after June with Quan, because I hope they bring Quan back, man. I think he was a great addition to that group.
Yeah.
And he showed that he could play a full season basically last year, which was, all the questions about him was durability. That's why he didn't stick around out in Cali. But for him, I hope Quan comes back, man, because he was a good addition to that group, and he made that group a lot better.
I agree.
So, Jay, I think there was something that you wanted to add about the Patriots trading down the way they did.
Yeah, look, I'm gonna tell you something about Belichick, and this might be a hot take, and I don't really care. That man's 79 and 87 as a head coach without Tom Brady. Have we gotten to the point now where we can start to actually question out loud whether or not he's just like not as good a coach as everybody seems to think he is? Tom Brady left and won a Super Bowl, and Bill Belichick has done nothing with that team, and it just keeps getting worse every year. And on draft day, he's so worried about fucking the Jets over that he's giving a pick to the Pittsburgh Steelers for less than normal compensation.
Yeah, that value was.
Here's what I would do if I was Coach Saleh. We should run he's done it to us. We should run the score up on them twice this year. Like, if we're up 21 points in the fourth quarter, I want to throw a flea flicker. I'll Browning Nagel to Rob Moore style. Like, I want to go 50 yards downfield and rub it in their face like he's done to us. Let's have some fun embarrassing them this year, because you know what? I don't think Bill Belichick's ever going to beat the Jets ever again starting this year. It's never
50 burger. That's a 50 burger. We need a 50 burger. He loves to put 50 burgers on everybody. He's going to get his, because I'm going to tell you something. Getting tired of him. That press up there in New England, they're getting tired of him.
Yeah.
Listen, he's going off of the world championships, but he ain't got no Tommy. Where's Tommy? Tommy! Where's Tommy?
That's the thing.
Where's Tommy?
Not such
Those questions are
Mac Jones and Bailey Zappi, is he? Get the fuck out of here, Bill Belichick. What are you doing?
Those questions are actually starting to come up right now.
Yes.
In the national media, about the fact that he's basically a mediocre coach without Tom Brady. And when he was in Cleveland, basically same thing. They made the playoffs, but he's basically a mediocre coach. And without Tom Brady in New England, like you said, Jay, you see his actual overall record as a head coach. Without Tom Brady,
to save his life as a GM.
And I was just about to say, as a GM, he sucks. So as a GM in the draft, he sucks. But he gets a couple of guys actually in free agency. But other than that, he's been doing the crazy things for a long time with his picks and his players. So that stuff is actually, I think, now that Brady has been gone for a few years, it's actually kind of wearing off on that thing. And like you said, Ed, it's kind of wearing thin with the media up there as well.
Oh, and he's hanging around. Listen, make no mistake about it. He's hanging around because he wants to be Chula. I think he needs 2 more years. Yeah. He's got to go 8-8 or he don't have a lot of. There's not a lot left. He can do it, I think, in 2 years. That's why he's hanging around.
They might have. I really genuinely mean this. I'm not saying this just as a Patriots hater or Jets fan. They might have the least talented roster in football. They're terrible. Who on the Patriots scares you in any way whatsoever on either side of the ball? They have nothing. So it's
And that's why though. That's why the trade down didn't bother me at all. Like if he wants to try to fuck the Jets, let him go ahead. Let him overthink it. Let him worry about us for a change. Because I still remember. You probably don't remember this. Back in 2016, I remember we were at the draft show. I was so pissed off when they made the Darren Lee pick. And one of you, I forget if it was Rob or Ed, one of you guys was telling me like you need speed at linebacker if you want to beat the Patriots. If you want to cover their tight ends, you need speed at linebacker if you're going to beat them. And my thought process was like, why are we so concerned with building a team to beat the Patriots? Why not build the best fucking Jets team that we could build and trust that what we do best is going to be better than what they do well? And I feel like we're finally getting to that point where we're focused on us and building the best Jets team, and we don't even need to worry about the Patriots anymore. I don't even care about Belichick.
That's the best kind. These are comment is spot on. This dude traded up with us, gave us an extra pick to take a kicker.
He took a kicker and a punter.
I was just about to say that, Ed. He's the first team to actually draft a kicker and a punter.
He might be going senile.
Like,
yo, he's losing his mind.
What is he doing, yo? Like, everybody started questioning him. That's what I mean. He's starting to get questioned now by the national media about everything that he's doing because Brady's not there, and it's actually so many holes in everything that he does. And don't get me wrong, the defenses that he puts out on the field, they're fundamentally sound, and they can keep the team in a game. But when your team is actually getting decimated like it is now, and you don't have the firepower on the offensive side of the ball, it's almost going to be like what the Jets were going through a couple of years ago when the defense just stayed out on the field and actually just got wore the hell out by the time the season was over.
Listen, I want to see them go 0-6 in the division. I want to see the Dolphins, the Bills, everybody. Listen, as much as it can help us with, Buffalo and Miami, you got to jump.
I wouldn't mind them.
It could happen this year.
Jump on a rabbit. Jump on a rabbit. Let's go.
It could happen this year. This dude, they might go 0-6 in the division this year, man.
So I hope so. It won't bother me.
Lose to us twice and split with the other squad.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
But
I'm more worried about Buffalo and Miami than I am the Patriots.
I agree with Ed. I don't think they're good enough to go 2-4 in the division. They suck.
Listen, there's so much hate for him. He's done so many things to different teams, not just us. He's not well liked. There's no way that you cannot tell me they respected him when he was with Brady. When Brady left, now people, just like Rob said, if the media, listen, it starts with the media. That's where it all starts. And then it just starts to roll. And then his being a jerk with the media. And, I never understood how you could have, the NFL has, interviews with coaches, right? Just after the half or just before the third quarter. And, the coaches talk. But he never talks. I don't get it. I don't understand it. How does the other team always got to talk, but he don't have to talk? That miserable bastard doesn't have to talk. I don't get it. He doesn't shake hands, or if he does one of these and he runs. Listen, there's so many things that, and he's a cheater.
Winning buys you a lot of leeway, man. He's won a lot.
I was just great saying, man. Those championship rings buys him a long leash with the league.
Yeah, because of Tommy.
Yeah.
True. Very true.
Yep.
All right, so shifting away from the Patriots in the draft, earlier in the week, the Jets declined the 5th-year option on Mekhi Becton. Not a major surprise. Putting aside his future, though, I mean, do you have a belief in Becton to actually win the starting right tackle job this year and actually stay healthy for a full season?
I do.
Yeah. As long as he's healthy, because he can play. I mean, we saw when he's on the field, the kid can play. It's just the fact that can he stay on the field? That's been the question, and that's why they didn't pick up the option. We all know that, and like you said, Kev, it wasn't a surprise. I don't even think it was a surprise to him. He's just working, working his ass off just to get back on the field and prove that he's he can be the player that they actually drafted to be there. But as long as he's on the field, he's gonna play well. I think so because I've seen him up close a couple of times, over the past couple of months. And he's in phenomenal shape, man. He slimmed down a little bit, but even him slimming down is still a big-ass dude, man.
Did you see the picture of him with Aaron Rodgers?
Aaron Rodgers, yeah, that was a little comical, man.
Like,
I was
thinking,
comical,
if he lost 50 pounds, he looks huge now. Like the 50 pounds, like that's a lot of weight. 50 pounds is a lot of weight.
I actually used to comment on a picture that from 2 years ago when he was standing with next to Fant and oh my gosh, it was one other person he was standing next to. He made those guys look small. And those guys aren't small. And even him standing next to Dwayne Brown, we know Dwayne Brown is a huge human being. You know, he makes him look like a little kid, man. And Mekhi Becton is a big dude, man. It's funny because earlier this year I was at MetLife and Mekhi and AVT were there. And those two guys are standing next to each other, and I just had to turn and just had to laugh, man. I'm standing next to these guys, I just cracked the hell up. I'm like, dude, there wasn't tackles this big when I was playing, man. But the simple fact that he made AVT look like a little guy who's not a little guy, it really was just comical. I just turned around and just started laughing. I was like, dude, you a big damn dude, man.
Rob, what about now that we got Tippmann? Yeah. He's 6'6". Look, think about that offensive line. Like, think about what you're talking about. If you got Becton, AVT, Tippmann,
and Kuntz,
Lakeland, right? Lakeland, and
Dwayne Brown too.
Dwayne Brown. I mean, that's a monster line.
And a 6'8" tight end at the end of it, Eddie.
It's a monster line. Yeah, I mean, they're big.
I mean, CJ Uzomah's not a small.
No, he's big.
6'6", huh? So
they're all big.
That front six that they actually have up there is some big guys. It's going to look like the New York skyline going, as they're
going to look to run the rock.
Yeah, and I was just going to say that. And so a lot of things is going to go on with the running game. That's going to be a positive for the team, but it's also going to be the fact that Aaron is going to have to look through some holes because those guys are so big. He's going to have to make ways trying to throw the ball through those guys instead of around those guys.
It's going to be exciting. I tell you, it's going to be because this is the first time our offense. You look at the versatility of the offense. I mean, really, the word right now that you would have to use for the Jets and what their thought process is versatility. Because everything that they're doing is versatility when it comes to all the positions, especially on the offense. The defense also, but on the offense. They have guys. They like Billy Turner just signed with them, right? And you've seen the clip with Aaron Rodgers talking about Billy Turner, right? In 20 and 21, he said that's the unheralded offensive lineman. It's all started with him. So what does he do? He goes out, he tells Douglas, listen, Turner will be a great backup to have. Now, here you go. You look at that offensive line, and you start to see that they could flip. They could have McGovern can play center, he can play guard. Okay, Tippmann can play anywhere. Right, the three positions like AVT playing guard and tackle or left tackle. He doesn't. I mean, we're going on and on here with these guys. There's 4 or 5 guys on that offensive line that can play anywhere. That's huge. Huge.
The only thing I don't want to happen. The only thing I don't want to happen is that they start screwing around with guys, moving guys around too early.
Yes.
So I just want them to put these guys in place. Yes, because if you know football, we all know football. The offensive line is the last, unit to gel. It takes them the longest because they have to get used to. They got to get used to calls. They got to get used to, switch offs. It just takes a little longer for them as a unit to gel. So I just want them to put these guys in.
Oh, we lose.
Who's Rob?
My bad. Let them go on and get used to each other. And from that point on, we can just have some fun with them as a unit.
And I think it's big. Also, you've got 4 or 5 starters coming back from last year, so I mean, that'll help things also.
Continuity is huge, like you said. But it's nice to have the versatility because they were mixing and matching and doing everything last year was insanity. Now I do agree with you. If you can get 5 guys, listen, the ultimate goal is to have the 5 guys play for 17 games. I mean, that's what you want because by game 6, let's go. Here we go. So we'll see. It's exciting, really is.
All right. So yesterday, the Jets added a couple veteran free agent signings. We'll start with the first one, which happened earlier in the day. Randall Cobb, a move that I think we all kind of expected, gives the team most likely 5 receivers that'll make the roster. Are you guys comfortable with the Jets receivers as currently stated, assuming that Corey Davis is going to be here?
Yeah, I don't understand all the hatred of the Randall Cobb signing. Like, what? I'm getting sick and tired of the media bullshit. And Ed's been on this for years, but like, I mean, only the Jets can sign a number 5 receiver that's got familiarity with, with a quarterback for all these years and be like a comfort signing for like the back end of the roster for depth. And then like all these people are like, oh, the Jets, all these like those weirdos, the Packer reporters and stuff like that on Twitter are like, oh, the Jets are going to suck this year. They're relying on Allen Lazard and Randall Cobb. Like we've seen this. It's like, no, dude, Randall Cobb is here for depth. Like he's literally basically, going to be getting about as much time as Braxton Berrios did. And I'd honestly rather have Cobb at this point. We saw Braxton Berrios drop that pass in the end zone against the Vikings. I'll never forgive him for that. So, look, who cares? Like, what are we doing here? People are, and then even Jet fans are freaking out on Twitter. What are we doing? We're just giving Aaron Rodgers everything he wants. Give Aaron Rodgers whatever the hell he wants. What are you talking about?
We never had an Aaron Rodgers. Right. We don't. It's a whole nother ball game. You have Aaron Rodgers. Listen, he wants Randall Cobb on his team. You get Randall Cobb on a team. Right. What are you talking about? What are we talking about here? You're talking about we have Garrett Wilson. You got Hardman. You got Lazard. You got Corey Davis. I mean, listen, Randall Cobb will be just fine. He'll help everybody out, and he'll get everybody comfortable with the system and how Aaron runs the system. What's the problem? Stop the bullshit. It's all bullshit, and it's all the media, and it's clicks. Click, click. Because that's what they do to fire us up.
It's funny. Randall Cobb actually is like you said, Jay. He's probably going to be the 5th receiver on the team, but he's the punt returner right now. There's no other punt returner on the team. Berrios is not here anymore, so he's the emergency punt returner. That will be there. He's sure-handed with that because all you need is the ball. Doesn't need him to get big returns or anything like that. Just make sure you secure the ball. We got the ball back and let's go. But the funny thing is, like Ed said, it's media driven because I've listened to guys all over the place talk about the fact that Randall Cobb being signed here is Aaron Rodgers' way of infiltrating the team, but they totally have forgot about, like you said, Corey Davis, Garrett Wilson, Mecole Hardman. They signed Mecole Hardman before they signed anybody else, and he's the guy that they were talking about they could do so much with because of his speed and everything like that. It's like so the media actually has their own agenda with the Jets, man. We know that, and it's been that way forever. It's always going to be something negative, no matter how positive the team's going.
But fans got to be smarter than to see through that. Come on, man. Like, I go on Twitter, and you have the nerve to question Aaron Rodgers at this point. Like, what do we know better than Aaron Rodgers of who should be on the team with Aaron Rodgers? If Aaron Rodgers, like you said, if he wants an offensive lineman and he's available, you get him an offensive lineman. He wants a receiver because he feels comfortable throwing him, give him the receiver. He wants to win here. He doesn't want to play with worse players. He knows what he's talking about. If he wants Randall Cobb, give him Randall Cobb. Let's just sit back and enjoy. Or worst case scenario, Randall Cobb will be there in training camp teaching the wide receivers, how to be better. That man has done it for a long time in this league. Like,
that's exactly what it is, Jay. That's exactly what it is. Randall Cobb will be here. The younger guys can actually feed off of him, asking him so many questions in the meetings. You're out on the field, different nuances that take place with different defenses, how Aaron wants the things to be run. And you got the everybody basically in the offense is going to be new for him. And it's just going to be Lazard and Randall Cobb that he's familiar with. So with those two guys actually being in the ear of everybody else here, it's only going to help, man. So, it's just a hilarious thing, man. Like we all said, we know it's media driven. We know it's just that's the Jets.
They're forgetting. What about
take all that with a grain of salt?
What about Nathaniel Hackett? Hackett has something to do with it. Hackett's familiar with Cobb. Hackett's familiar with Lazard. Hackett's familiar with Billy Turner.
Yeah.
He has something to do with it too. He is the offensive coordinator. I mean, they do have something to say about it. Right away it's Aaron Rodgers. They're going to start that shit. What about the offensive coordinator that he want to bring these guys here? He's comfortable with them.
Was anybody complaining when Rex Ryan brought all those guys over from Baltimore? Of course not, because it's the same exact situation. Like guys are familiar with guys. They want to bring over guys to help teach the system and when you got a veteran like Cobb, like
It's like you were saying before. It's
it's
not even like he's coming here as the number 1 or number 2 option. It's not like they gave him $10 million. I mean, it's probably $1 million or $2 that he's getting, and he's going to be the 5th receiver. He's going to be a camp body, somebody to teach the young guys, and that's it.
That's the crazy thing, Kev. You would think that everybody, the big, to do about the whole signing of Cobb, you would think they were bringing him in here to be the number 1 guy. We all know that's not the case, man. So it's just that narrative, man. They just try to make a story out of something that, and like Ed said, it's just for clicks.
And the other signing that we had yesterday, defensive tackle out of Seattle, Al Woods, the second Seattle defensive lineman the Jets signed, giant run stuffer, veteran, 36 years old. I like this move, especially just for, early downs, red zone, 3rd, 4th and short, an area that I thought the Jets kind of struggled with a little bit last year, trying to replace Fatukasi. So thoughts on the signing of Woods as I drop my phone?
I think that Al Woods, obviously we see what he is and you see his stops on the run in 1st and 2nd down. He's right up there, for years. He's been up there when you look at his stats. Listen, the Jets, this is far from done. What the bottom line here is, because of Aaron Rodgers, there's going to be so many different moves that are going to be made before the actual final roster in September. I mean, you're going to have some of these guys, Rob, am I right when I say Aaron Rodgers, they're going to attract Aaron Rodgers. They're going to want to be here because there's 2 reasons. They want the ring. And with the ring, with getting the ring, that means they made a lot more money along the way going to get the ring. And that has a lot to play in their decisions whether they get cut at training camp, something happens. You're going to see this roster is far from complete. There's going to be some big names coming here. I'm telling you, before it's all said and done, it's going to be like Rex when they got Jason Taylor, as it went along, they got Jason Taylor. They went and they got LaDainian Tomlinson.
For Price, right? And they get him too.
I'm telling you, you're going to see that happen. It's going to happen for sure.
After the June 1st cuts, you're going to see guys moving around, a few big names, moving places. And obviously, I know, Joe D is going to be out there, searching the wire when big names get cut. And there's going to definitely be a few that want to sign here because of Aaron Rodgers. And they saw what the team actually did last year without a QB. So if they have a QB, there's going to be a lot of guys that actually want to be part of that.
Rob, what would you say is the biggest need still remaining on the roster? If you had to have one free agent, where would you put it?
Safety. That would be it. But I'm glad to only say just that one spot. Because I think everywhere else on the squad, it's pretty solid. I'm not gonna say that's the overall best roster that's out there, but as a unit, as a full unit, as a full team, I'd put this roster up there with mostly every other team. And the defense hasn't changed much, but the safety position, just if we had one person that actually go sideline to sideline with no problems, whatsoever, that would be a huge spot for the team. But everywhere else, man, everywhere else is solid. You don't need a superstar at every position to win a chip. As long as you got solid
Especially
guys,
with an elite quarterback now,
right? As long as you got solid guys, at every position, you're pretty good.
Rob, what's your thoughts on C.J. Mosley?
I think he's getting up there. That's just my opinion. I think he's getting up there.
He scares me.
That's the thing. For me, I think he's lost some speed. Because when CJ first got here, man, his speed was all over the place. You don't see that much anymore because I see him actually getting blocked too much now. I see linemen getting up to the second level and him getting caught on blocks. Years past that would never happen with him. So I think that groin injury, took a little speed out of him. Even though he's been healthy, but that might be a position, Kev, that might need to be looked at a little bit. Inside linebacker, because that's a big reason why I want them to bring Quan back. Because Quan has that speed to go sideline to sideline, even if he's playing, off linebacker. If he's playing weak side, he can go, in a hurry, get to the strong side and make a tackle for a 2-yard gain. We've seen his big hits from one side to the other.
And Sherwood wasn't that bad either. He
Right.
was in there for a game or two last year. He wasn't bad either when he played.
He was just too young to know about all the nuances of every offense coming at him. But I think if they actually went on and got a linebacker who actually can go from sideline to sideline. Now, not saying necessarily to replace CJ at this point, but put him in there, knowing that CJ is getting a little long in the tooth, and the guy that actually can replace him and not have any drop off. Yeah, I think that'll bode well for the team too.
Don't be surprised if they make a move. I see them.
With the money he's made, with the money that's there for him, I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah,
that would surprise me. I'll be honest, that would surprise me.
Salah talks big about him, but I mean, watching his tape, I don't know, man.
I feel like he was solid, but there was always just that one play. It seemed like every week where he would just get completely toasted. Right. He had the one offsides in Buffalo that was a fucking killer.
Yeah.
Those don't bother me. I'm more worried about him. Rob's right when he says second level
speed.
The guys getting to him and pushing him back. Like he's not.
He used to be able to get around, a guard trying to get to the second level, or a tackle trying to get to the second level. When they double and come off to the second level on linebackers, especially guys on the inside. CJ used to be long gone before those guys actually got there.
That's what I'm saying.
But now he's starting to get touched a little bit, and he's not being able to shake off those blocks. So I seen it just a little too much for me last year. I'm like, man, CJ's getting blocked.
Maybe Al Woods can help get some of those guys off of him.
I was wondering if he was hurt. If he was hurt, they weren't saying it.
To be honest with you, Kev, that will help. Because Al's going to take up two guys most of the time. So it's going to help the second level, and it's also going to help Quinn. So Quinn is not going to be able to get double much if Al is actually in there those first and second downs. When the run game is not there and the team is actually the other offense is actually trying to pass on first and second down, that's going to free up Quinn a lot, man. And we saw what he could do when he's not being doubled. Quinn is a beast.
I watched a bunch of Al Woods highlights today. You know who he reminded me exactly of? It was crazy. No.
Chris Jenkins.
Sione Pauha.
Oh.
Like he was
number 91.
Yes, sir. Because I'm telling you, he just eats up runs. Like Sione Pauha was like sneaky good. He was, obviously
him and Mike DeVito, both of them.
Yeah. That's when Chris Jenkins got hurt, it was flawless. Those guys stepped in and did a great job. And I feel like he's got a similar game to Sione. Jet fans are gonna love Al Woods. I think.
What's funny? This is how we talk about stats and analytics in football. So the moment the signing was announced that they signed Al Woods, the first thing I saw was, well, he only has 9 sacks. I laughed, man. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. Like, this dude is not a sack artist. That's not his job. Like, do you watch football? Like that was my first thing. Like, oh my gosh, do you actually watch football? Like, the dude is not in there to get sacks. He's in there to take up space, stop the run, and free up the other D linemen. That's his job. And he does that really well. So, it's comical when I read some of these things, man. It's like, are you serious? Like that's the first thing that pops in your head when they sign a defensive tackle.
We don't need him to do that anyway. We've got
we don't. That's why I laughed about it, Kev. I was cracking up. I was like, you got to be kidding me! Like, really? And it was a New York beat writer that said it.
Well, of course. Let me tell you something. Before it's all said and done, you're going to see us have another defensive tackle, I believe. There'll be another one by the time. There'll be another, either a pretty big name, I think, and there's going to be another linebacker. I think they're going to solidify the middle of that defense because they know that's the weak link. They know it.
The running game hurt the defense last year.
Buffalo's trying to get their running game going. Yep. They want to do what we did to them when we beat them. They want to run it down your throat. And I'm telling you that is far from done in the middle of that defense. I'm telling you, it's far from done.
That was the part of the game of the defense that was disappointing last year. They gave up too many big runs on the defense.
That's the weakness right there.
So yeah. I believe you're right, Ed, and I've been saying that. So the middle of the defense is going to get shored up a lot faster than every other spot.
I got to go back to this comment. You guys think we're set at backup quarterback right now? Tim Boyle, Zach Wilson, or are we adding somebody else?
There'll be somebody else in there. Somebody's going to be in there for camp, and I can't see them going in with Zach as the backup quarterback. I just can't see that. So especially going from Aaron Rodgers to Zach. I think they're going to bring in a veteran, another vet to be back there. That's a viable person to fill in for a game or two, just in case Aaron goes down.
So that's Shrevler. Shrevler's gone. The man's gone.
I don't think they're gonna go from Aaron to Josh Allen, the running quarterback in Shrevler, because that's all we know he's gonna do. He's gonna be in there running those RPOs and taking off down the field. He's not gonna be throwing much. So I don't think they're gonna go from Aaron to that.
That guy's kind of a beast. I kind of like to get a goal line package in for that guy Strevler. Let him lower.
Trevor's a fun dude to watch, though, man. I can't lie. He's a fun guy to watch, man. So because he does make things happen on the field, but I just can't see them going into the season with him as the main guy.
Jay, we finally get Aaron Rodgers as our quarterback, and you want a package for Strevler in the goal line. Come on, dude.
Listen, they put Refrigerator Perry on the goal line and let him run forward, man. Like, you get a little tricky sometimes. We threw a pass to Jumbo Elliott. Did you worry about who our wide receivers were at that point?
Do you realize the goal line this year with number 8 behind center and the play action and the way he play actions, the way he sells things? Are you kidding me? Like, listen, that's going to be the biggest thrill. Here's where you're going to get most thrill, and it's going to start right from the beginning of the game. Rob's going to love this one. It's a tight game, and all of a sudden you see him rush on the center and get a 5-yard penalty, a first down because they couldn't get off the field. Something we never do. We never do that. And you know what else he's going to do? I'm going to tell you the other thing he's going to do. It could be whatever it is for a penalty. The guy didn't catch the wide receiver didn't catch the ball. He's going up and he's snapping the ball.
Yep.
This is what we don't do. We never do. He's going to go up there and snap that ball, and it's a 40-yard gain. When they look on it, he dropped the ball, but he never gave him a chance to because he came up and he's Aaron Rodgers. He's so into the game. He's so into the game. That's the underrated
one other
part
thing,
about
Ed.
him.
One other thing. When he sees the defense jump off sides, he's taking the shot down the field. He's taking the shot down the field. And taking that shot down the field is going to do one or two things. Because we already got the 5-yard penalty, so he's taking the shot. It's going to be a long pass or another pass interference. So that's one thing that Aaron is going to do. So that's going to be fun to watch, Ed. You're right.
It's going to be a lot of fun things to watch because you actually have a magician back there. You got a guy back there that's so comfortable in his skin that when he comes up to the thing, we don't even know what that's about. We've been waiting forever for this guy. Are you kidding me? I can't believe it. I think about it. This goes through my head. I'm like, all the things I'm saying to myself, what is he bringing? They don't realize what he's bringing. They're going to realize it when the first game comes. And they go, oh, shit. We actually got a guy that's the general on the field. We actually have a general on the field.
Ed, did you see that video that Rob commented on that I reposted on Instagram of Aaron Rodgers spinning that 15-yard pass to Garrett Wilson just on a rope? Just got there in 0.3 seconds. Crazy.
Did you see the one today? Did you see the one that the Jets posted today? And dude, the one to Lazard. It wasn't not the one to
Lazard,
Garrett.
right.
The one to Lazard today from today's practices. I'm like,
that's what I'm talking about. That one that you retweeted that was just a laser beam.
Man, and I'm like, whoo-wee, that's just gonna be fun to watch. I'm glad he still got the zip on the pass, man, for all this time.
We got a man on a mission. The man's on a mission.
Yeah, that's true.
The man is on a mission. Everything that we wanted this is what he is. He's buying in. He's showing you he's buying in. He's everywhere.
What I'm seeing already, and some of the practice videos that I'm seeing with his passes, guys are actually really having to get used to getting their head around and getting their hands up. I saw Ruckert actually almost drop one of those passes today. The ball went right through his hands. He caught the back end of the ball. It went through his hands so fast. He caught the back end of the ball. I'm like, yeah, you guys actually
let's go.
You're going to have to get used to getting your head around. And
they should be used to that. Zach Wilson did that plenty in camp last year. The 10-yard outs, just throwing it right at guys' faces before they even turned around. I mean, he was throwing. The guy doesn't no touch on the ball. That's what I'm saying.
What I'm saying, Kev, is even when you're there, the ball is coming and it's coming hot. It's hot. and they haven't seen this before. Aaron Rodgers' pass is so crisp, man. They're coming through the air. I guarantee you, when you're out there, you're hearing the whistle coming through the air. You don't really hear that a lot with other quarterbacks, but the whistle is coming. You hear that ball whistling through the air. You got to get your hands up, and it's hitting you, and the spin. So, like I said, when I saw it today with Ruckert catching a pass, the ball, he had his hands together. Ball hit right in front of his hands, and he ended up catching the back end of the ball because the ball spun through his hands so fast. That's one thing I love to see, man. I love to see
it. There's so many things that
we could be here all day talking about the things that we want to see.
Amazing.
You guys brought up the red zone too. I mean, like Garrett Wilson's obviously our number one, but assuming, like we were talking about, Corey Davis is going to stay here. You've also got 2 6'4" receivers now, along with your 2 tight ends that are going to get utilized a lot more in the red zone. I mean, we've got so many options.
Lazard is his guy. Lazard is his guy in the red zone. Because he's a big target. We're going to see that a lot, but also CJ and Conklin down in the red zone. Those 2 guys. I think he's going to use those guys a lot, man. Because you're probably going to see the tight ends catch a lot more touchdowns this year.
A lot.
You think Ruckert's actually going to have a role this year? Like, are they actually going to try to get him involved?
I do.
Yes.
Especially in a running game, because he's a hell of a blocker. But he will be on some downs, especially when they're going 2 and 3 tight ends. He'll be out there. But like I said, Kuntz is going to be that wildfire guy, man. I do think he's going to be on the team, and I think he's going to be playing because he's a big target and he's a wiry guy. So he can get open. That was the one thing I liked from watching his tape. That he actually can get open. He gets open on safeties. He gets open on linebackers. Those guys couldn't cover. So that's us. That's like I said, when camp starts, this is going to be interesting to see how many snaps he's getting in camp early.
That's why he wanted to sign these guys early. He's got Cobb in here early. He told the Jets he didn't want to waste no time. Get this guy in here. I want him to help these guys out with the verbiage and all the different things that we do. Because he's essential to it. He's in that wide receiver room. Cobb is going to be all over Garrett Wilson. All right, all over Garrett Wilson and Hardman. Lazard knows already, and Corey Davis. Those 3, and Corey's polished. But those other 2 kids, he's going to be all over them. Like, it's so exciting. I mean, it's a big puzzle that's coming together. That right before your eyes. This is why the journey on April 24th, 2023, at approximately 4:38, the journey began. Enjoy the game.
It's not exciting or anything. Don't worry, guys. He's not excited for this year.
It is just a little exciting. Just a little.
Let's go.
Wait till game day.
All right, so if the chat has any questions, we're going to start to wrap up soon. So if you guys have anything, fire away. Couple more I got for you guys. Do you think Quinnen Williams' contract is going to get done before training camp?
I do.
Yeah.
Shortly.
Yeah, he's going to get done. It's only getting more expensive because if you saw what's his name with the Giants signed 4 years, $90 million. Yo, Quinnen's about to get broke off. He's going to make $100 million. He's going to get $100 million bag.
Yeah. He'll be.
And they have to get that done before. They have to get that done before June 1st.
Yeah, 4 years.
They have to get that done before June 1st.
I'm with you. He's going to get like $70 million guaranteed. 4 years, $100 million. They're going to wrap it up, and that's going to be.
You'll see it this week.
Yep.
They have to get it done. They have to get it done before June 1st because once the cuts actually come in, they need to free up that money for veterans that are actually getting cut after June 1st.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
If there was any way to like space out some of that money and give him 5-6 years, I'd be all for that. I mean, what is he? 24 years old?
They're gonna do that. They're gonna do that.
I'd be perfectly fine with that.
They're gonna space that money
some extra money to put around Rodgers over the next year or two, by all means.
That's why Aaron did his deal the way he did because they needed that money for Quinnen.
Hey guys, quick question for you.
What you got?
The schedule is releasing next week. We're gonna do a little schedule release show because it's the night of our show, so that'll be fun. We'll actually be live when that schedule comes out, so we'll be able to talk about it. But I am curious, all 3 of you, and then I'll chip in mine at the end. If there's one game this year that you're looking forward to the most, tell me which game that is, road or home, either one. Which game you're looking forward to most and why? I'd love to start it off with Kev. You haven't given us any opinions. You're just taking everything off.
See, I'm tempted to say the Patriots just because I feel like we're going to shove it down their throat this year in both games. But I'm going to go a little different. I'm going to go with the Chiefs game just because I feel like that's going to be a legitimate measuring stick for like how good this team could actually be. That's why I'm hoping that game. We were talking about this on Tuesday night. I'm really hoping that game sometime like November, maybe even early December. Yeah, like once Rodgers has had maybe like half a season to get acclimated to New York, learn his teammates, all that stuff. Like that would be, I think, a legitimate measuring stick, kind of like the the Favre Titans game. I think it could have that similar vibe to it.
I think we probably all have the same same game in mind. That Chiefs game is I think it's going to be the big measuring stick for the team. It's just that one game that's on the schedule. It's like, all right, if you're gonna play the best teams out here, what's the best team that you play? It's going to be the Chiefs. So they're going to be coming full force. If they're a healthy team at the time we're playing them, hopefully we're fully healthy, and that's just going to be the measuring stick to see how good the team really is.
They're going to have to come back to our building later in the season too. Just FYI, we're going to get them twice in the Meadowlands this year.
I just hope this year that we can play Buffalo late in our house rather than up there. Like they pull that shit every year. Us playing the last game or the second to last game against Buffalo in January. I'd like to see them come down here and we go up there early, like after week 6, because I think week 6 is the magic number. You want to get the team's got to get acclimated with one another. So I'm anxious to see the schedule. I'm hoping we're not playing Kansas City and Buffalo early. I'm hoping we're playing Kansas City and Buffalo like after week 6. That would be ideal, because that's going to be a measuring stick, along with which I'm thinking is home field advantage, and those 2 games are going to be huge. So
plus, there's going to
be later.
There's probably going to be like 4 or 5 primetime games this year.
I was going to ask you guys that. How many primetime games do you think we're going to have? At least 6, 4 or 5.
Right? We're going to give it 6. They're going to max us out.
I know there's going to be at the very least there's going to be 4. So like you said, Jay, they probably will max out at 6 games. But it's going to be at least 4 primetime games. It'll probably be Chiefs, Eagles,
Giants.
Oh hell, it might be Giants.
We'll definitely get Miami and New England, I'm sure, on a Monday night, maybe even Buffalo. Sunday night, Thursday night, they'll switch it all up. But we'll probably play at least one game against each of them on
Thanksgiving.
And you got the Eagles.
Thanksgiving right? Dallas. That's definitely happening. Thanksgiving Dallas is going to be Aaron Rodgers against the Cowboys in Dallas on Thanksgiving. Mark that one down.
That's probably true. That probably definitely is true.
The one I'm looking forward to most, guys. I can't help it. You see all these throw pillows behind me? It's because I'm getting married this year, and so like you don't have this many pink and throw pillows in your house unless you're getting married. And my bachelor party, Las Vegas,
the Raiders.
Ed, I have a favor to ask you, Ed.
Yeah.
First of all, I'm assuming that the whole squad is going to be there. We're going to Jets road trip for Vegas for the bachelor party, but I need to put you on my shoulders in Vegas as we're coming down the stretch for a Jet fan chant right behind the Jets bench.
I better lose about 20 pounds.
It's a lot of trust there.
Let's see what happens. We'll see how it goes.
Love it.
Anything else from you guys?
Let's go. Just enjoy the journey, because every week is another golden week. Enjoy this time.
Every week a new step.
Let's go, Knicks. Obviously, nobody really cares about the Devils. Appreciate you guys for tuning in. I'm still in hater mode. So thank you again to everybody that joined us tonight. Really appreciate it. Talk to you guys again next week.
See you next week.
Go Jets.